Hello, guys. Good to see you back. I hope you had a good lunch break. For those who are coming in now, my name is Alisa, and I'm happy to have you here. So now we're going to continue with another panel. So during the morning, we have explored the impact of innovation, topics such as blockchain technology, and on the future of talents in financial services in Luxembourg and also in general, and how it changes with AI, ChatGPT, and all other technologies. Now we'd like to kick off the afternoon session with an incredible panel on closing the gap. So reinventing education for higher employability and future competitiveness. There, there I'm going to start introducing the managing director of Luxembourg School of Business, a rapidly growing graduate business school, attracting top talents from all over the world, and having more and more executive education and growing local presence, as well as an exceptional rapport with local and industry players. Ladies and gentlemen, Marin Niavero.
Next on, we have, we'd like to call to the stage the academic dean and the president of the European Business University in Luxembourg. Through innovating education and active participation in trying to democratize education, especially in emerging countries, he was able to assist on improving employment and knowledge in over 20,000 students. Please, a big applause for Dr. James Mully.
He is an award-winning entrepreneur of several university spin-offs. He is the head of UNILDU Incubator and Innovation Faculty at the MIT Entrepreneurship Center. Pranjul is at the inception of at least 5 of the most known and good startups coming out of Luxembourg: Our Choice, Magrid Learning, Food for All, and others. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Pranjul Shah.
Our next panelist is the former academic director of Solvay Brussels School of Business, Lifelong Learning Center, and he's a regular keynote speaker on all topics around digital innovation, cryptocurrency, and financial innovation. So please welcome Bernard Nicolai, who has strong connections to the LHoFT.
Next off, we are honored to welcome a gentleman who has dedicated his career to the realm of academic research, education, and business studies, elevating many standards and growing HEC Liège's impact on a global scale through strong international relations, partnerships to his and his team's credits. Mr. Wilfried Niesen.
So, moving on to our final panelist. She's the head of culture and people development at KPMG, and she's extremely well known for trying to reinforce work-life balance in a hyper-competitive area of business. And she's dedicated a large amount of her life to improving this area for new employees. Please welcome Géraldine Hassler. So, as all our panelists are reunited here at the desk, the format will be we'll ask a few questions, and then we'll start right away. So, Wilfried, we'll start with you. You've been leading HEC Liège, a leading graduate school in the greater region with a strong representation in Luxembourg by former students that are shaping the local industry and employee force. When you look back as an active participant in fostering education, what were some of the most impactful changes you witnessed while shaping it?
So first of all, good afternoon. I think the two most important things in my eyes is the complexity of the world today compared to what it was before and the rapid change. And if we we take this into account, this means that we need different approaches to educate our students. The first one is that we need a transversal approach. We cannot teach in silos anymore. So that's clear that we need to combine law, engineering and management. And change is also a problem of, I try to, okay, if this works better. The rapid change needs also more skills than what we had before. So the companies are asking much more for behavior and soft skills. But they never forget that before you can have these skills, you need the basic knowledge. So which means that we have to pack a lot of more stuff in the studies and not only teach them technical things. And the last thing I would mention is that we teach or we learn the students today that learning is a question of lifelong learning and not only a question of university studies, which means that we need to train them afterwards. That's one of the reasons why we organize now lots of certificates or other things behind, like the Fintech certificate that we organize in Luxembourg, for instance.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your answer. That was a very good insight, and I also think for all the students that are here, that's a very good tip. So all the extra curriculum that you do, all the workshops, all the other formations that you have, besides your degree, are also very, very important. I would like to continue with James. Could you please explain to us the mission and also vision of EBU and how you managed to upskill 20,000 students in only a few years with your headquarters being here in Luxembourg?
Thank you very much. Hard work. A great team that is up there with me. I have to acknowledge them, some of them. Well, let me just say, first of all, that we have a model. How did we attain to 20,700 students? And this is based on the fact that we were founded in 2018. Well, we have to have a very interesting model. And that's what we do. We make our education affordable, accessible, and equitable. And that means that we work with partners. We have over 130 partners worldwide. Of those partners, we have governments. The government of Botswana, for example, has brought to us more than 3,800 students. We have the Kenyan government who is on board. By the way, I'm from Kenya, so I'm a little biased. Hope you don't mind. But we also work just recently with the Global University of Somalia. We've signed on board students with them. So this partnership approach is what makes us capable of impacting. But something that my colleague here said is very important. It's competency, not qualification. And this is the future of jobs. And this is what we are focused on as well. We believe that if we can make our education affordable, accessible, and equitable, we can impact the vast majority of people who require it. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much for that answer.
Thank you for this very insightful answer. I think we can all agree on the point that education is the foundation of society, and especially not only when we're talking about fintech, but all areas of life and in business. Education is which is basically for marine. So your school has grown rapidly in the last few years, thanks to your ambition, of course, and your very effective team that you have at LSB. Would you mind telling the audience a little bit about how have you achieved this growth?
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming. I mean, that's a tough question to answer in 1 minute or minute and a half, but essentially it comes down to kind of simple basics of business in general. So we have realized from living here in Luxembourg, in this pretty amazing country that sometimes is very much under the radar, actually, we've realized that there's a big opportunity to create, I would say, a Luxembourgish champion in business education. Why is that important? Because when I'm very well aware, and even before we started, that, you know, couple of, is it 100 kilometers, maybe less than 200 kilometers, there are some very, very prominent European business schools that indeed have a very solid alumni basis and long history in Luxembourg. But what you need to understand about business education from a sort of institutional strategy point of view is every school needs to be anchored in its national, so to speak, in its nation, in its country, right? So we always felt that even though there are some great schools across the border, they and their main constituents are in the places where they are located and in the countries where they're located. And that's how it, to an extent, should be. They, of course, business schools project internationally. You know, some of our colleagues here, their schools are known in all the 7 continents, right? I don't know about Antarctica, maybe not there, but all the other ones for sure. And our plan from very beginning was, we realized that there is a clear opportunity, which to this day sometimes I question myself how come that was the case, that Luxembourg actually didn't have, I would say, a globally renowned business school. And the more we started working on that, we realized a couple of key points. When you state that fact very clearly, and that, I would say, vision very clearly, people rally around it, people from Luxembourg, people from all over the world. Some people know that, you know, one of the things that distinguishes LSB was, I would say, we have really faculty here, but also coming from some of the top universities in the world. And that was actually, you know, these people wouldn't come if there wasn't a compelling vision behind it. So, and then that vision really drove the whole growth and continues. In the context of that vision, as much as we are growing fast, we haven't even started yet. That's important to say.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you also from my side. Very insightful and interesting to see, and also very good points to set that it should be applicable here and not everywhere, and not everything is applicable wherever you want it to be. Very interesting. As next, I would like to ask Pranjul. You are a returning guest, as we saw also from this morning, and you managed to help almost 70 university startups go and also grow through your program. What is the recipe to your success story?
I think when we started the university incubator, the rationale for really the rationale there for us was that the whole ecosystem needed it. Because if you went around and looked at every successful entrepreneurial ecosystem that comes to mind, at the core of it is a very strong university, which comes out with strong people and comes out at the same time with bright ideas. And if you don't have either, it won't work. So like my colleague said, it's about competency. The challenge is that most universities around the world, like if you look at it, students will come out, and you'll see many of them here, they'll come out with a degree, but the problem is they all have the same curricular education. And how do you differentiate in the world yourself? So when we said, okay, there's a gap to fill here, we reached out to all of our partners globally. We looked at benchmarking all entrepreneurial ecosystems. We partnered with some of the most entrepreneurial universities around the world, Israel, US, Denmark, and we brought those curricular points to the University of Luxembourg. And at the incubator, our motto is, we're not going to teach, we're going to make you practice it. So when entrepreneurs knock at my door, and some of the ones that you highlighted, like Our Choice, Margaret, Golden Me, these are companies, when they came to us, they were just mere ideas. So if you ask them how many lectures they've attended with us, how many minutes or hours or painful weeks they've spent with many of the mentors who are in this room, hours and hours. And there were so many times they wanted to give up, but the mentor said, no, you're on the right path, keep going, keep going. And now we have the success. It takes 5 years to build this ecosystem. But within the last 5 years, what we've achieved, we're just proud of it. And looking back, we realize clearly that what we are doing here is not about building startups. We're actually co-creating careers. We are co-creating ecosystem. And we are amplifying passions of people, because we have a role as a university to play. When we say we have 130 nationalities represented, 6,000 students coming from all over the world, they're not just coming to Luxembourg for a career. Most of them call Luxembourg their home. And we need to make sure we find ways for them to actually practice their passion and give back to this ecosystem from where they're getting so much back. So our job is just to let them. So when people are surprised when we tell them like, okay, at the incubator, you can incubate a company for €1 per month. Many of my peers say, oh, but that's like a subsidy from the state. Honestly, it's not. Because if these people, when they start the companies, they give so much more. So when I see companies like Golden Me during COVID crisis matched 30,000 elderly people with their neighbors, so help them bridge the gap during the risk, that's impact, and that's what we are all about. So I think the secret sauce really is letting people do what they love best and just getting out of their way. Thank you.
Very nice answer. Thank you very much. It's definitely so important. And also the 2 points that I would like to underline to wrap all of this up is that we're all going into the same direction, so the next step. And for this, partnerships, as you all said, is very important. And also doing things that you're not supposed to do. Don't stay on your track. Do things that are different. Do things that are not expected from you. Thank you very much.
I fully agree with that, and I think we can also agree that the bottom line is basically what is happening currently. We're at the timeline where we are redefining education to a more impactful process that gets students and young professionals out of the classroom to get more hands-on experience, and I think all the panelists can agree on that, and I think this is also really important. So we move to the next question, which is very suitable, and this is for you, Bernard. I think the key points are AI and blockchain. How do you see these technologies impacting education and changing it?
All right. Thank you very much for the question. Thank you for having me and for the nice introductions, and also for the company with my distinguished panelists, because it's just great. So as you know, I'm passionate about finance and education. So every time there is an opportunity to talk about it, you can certainly invite me, and I will contribute the best I can. So maybe before answering the question directly, a few words relating to Solvay Brussels School. We are celebrating this year 120 years. This year, so happy birthday to Solvay Brussels School. However, nothing is granted. It's not because an institution has been great or is great today that there is a guarantee relating to the future. We've got 5,000 students, 200 professors, plus 400 professionals teaching as well, with complementary backgrounds, like on this panel, 30,000 alumni. And we can also capitalize on that relating to tech and the new trends. So that's a bit in terms of introduction. We are there to provide practical knowledge, connections, and inspiration to our students. Okay, and in a context where the trends are evolving, our mission is to help you, the students, to become the leaders of tomorrow. Hence, leadership, tech, and sustainability, we believe, are very important. And it's at the core of the student experience. So back to your question now, tech. All right, how to talk about it in 30 seconds. Fortunately, we had excellent speakers this morning explaining AI, blockchain, and so on. We all know now that it's very exciting, and those are transformative technologies, for sure. And they can be combined together sometimes in use cases such as in data security, data integrity, optimization of supply chain, smart contracts, tokenizations with Tokenea, for example, the nice scale-up, the great scale-up here. There are also challenges, but at the end of the day, the use cases are very, very powerful. In payments, as we have seen this morning with Aginkia and Bitflyer, with Petra and other speakers, in savings and investors, also in decentralized finance. So what about education? Well, as for the other sectors, in my opinion, there are lots of opportunities in education to get more benefits for the students, to manage education decreasing cost, also with less risks, with use cases such as credential verification on the blockchain, learning analytics with proposals to the students to tailor the student journey, chatbots, language learning, accessibility, career guidance, and so on. That's valid for education as well, and it raises concerns. However, what is still more important for me and for our students and for our hiring companies is how are we going to adapt the curriculum? So that the students, they come up, they are ready for the job market, and they can serve the clients, the hiring companies' issue. Well, we believe that it's important to include technology, including blockchain and artificial intelligence, in a transversal way in our curriculum, in bachelor and master programs, in PhD program, in executive MBA, and for example, in the advanced master in financial markets, where I lecture fintech and sustainable finance, and both they converge. So it's great. We have decided to add 3 years ago a class on data science, a class of machine learning, and more, we also include fintech. However, we believe that tech is not the only competency to be added to the curriculum, because we believe also that leadership and sustainability should be included as well. Maybe it's a long answer to a short question, and I will leave it to here at this stage. Does it answer your question?
Absolutely, thanks a lot. I don't think that it is a long answer. I think it's exactly what has to be said, and I think you raised a lot of important points, especially that how do we implement into normal universities more technology, more leadership, more sustainability, and especially more entrepreneurship. So
absolutely,
this is going to be, I think, and most of the people here in this room, I think, are going to agree, one of the biggest challenges of the 21st century. And yes, so thank you very much for your thought-provoking answer.
Thank you.
Yes, it's very interesting to see and hear all of the insights and information that we have from the educational institutions and educational backgrounds. Now we also have Mr. Adin Hasler. There you would think, okay, when we start working, you stop learning, but that's where it also continues and also starts. So there, dear Geraldine, you fostered and trained thousands of people over the years at KPMG. What were some of the major challenges you witnessed when dealing with upskilling in a more corporate environment and now not the educational one?
So thank you very much also for inviting the companies at the table of education world. So that's true that on our side we are onboarding the people. Either they are finalizing their studies or they have their diploma in their hands. And I think it's important because education and companies must work together and not being the continuity, but must work together in the education. And that's what we have done for many years. I think that we are in all the schools that we are having here, that we are working with them to make sure also that there is no gap between the education world, but also the market reality when our students are becoming young professionals, graduated, and where they discover the world, whatever they choose as a career, but there is no big major gap. So what is important also is that, just to give you a context, at KPMG, it's hundreds of people over a year that we recruit. We do not recruit only in Luxembourg. Unfortunately, the university cannot fulfill all our needs. So we have to go outside of Luxembourg and neighbor countries, for sure. But we are recruiting people from all the world, from the 5 continents. So it's also quite very interesting also to see the differences between students coming from all over the world. What's something that has surprising me for the last probably 4 to 5 years is that we do not see any more students with a curriculum, French people who have studied in France and making internships in France only. Our students, our today's students, are very mobile, and they are studying in many different countries, and thanks also to the fact that the universities and the business schools and so on have reinventing themselves by making some partnerships with other other schools in other countries. And I think that's something that we need to continue to strengthen that, but also to give the possibility of our students to travel and to study abroad, because it's not only the technical aspects, it's also to challenge what we have today in terms of technicity, but also that there is a personal experience that brings. And Mr. Nissen, I fully agree with you. It's not only the technical part, but also the competencies that makes you a young professional, so the leadership skills that today really makes the differences. To respond to your questions about what are the major challenges, I won't say major challenges, but we have students where they have been educating, where they have to pass some exams, where it's pass or fail. And on our side, we are much more in the company's world, much more on the growth mindset, where the failure is part of the learning experience. The idea is to understand the failure, to make it a learning point, but not to repeat the mistake. And that's where we do see quite a discrepancies by people who are very scholar and really looking at to have the highest rating, the highest results. But sometimes we have to acknowledge that we grow ourselves by coping with some difficulties, coping with obstacles, not having the response, but where do I find it, with who, and so on. Not working as an individual alone, but working much more with other people. And that's why I'm very happy that now the schools are making also much more education through project-based, and not only learning my lessons and having my exam just to check the competencies. Because what our reality is, when we have the students from the highest top-rated schools, it does not mean that are the top-rated young professionals on the market. Because what makes the difference, the diploma for us is the credentials that they got, the technical aspects, but it's much more the mindset that we are looking for. Mindset around how am I curious, how am I going to collaborate with the others, how am I going to learn from my experience, how am I going to step in, think outside of the box, and always learning. And I fully agree with what has been said. The learning does not stop when I have my diploma in hand. It's a continuous learning through MBAs, through different professional qualifications that our clients are asking us to have people in front of them, not only technical people, but how they know it and how they can continue to learn. And I think it's important for that we should always invest in ourselves and never stop doing that.
Absolutely. Very great sentence for the finish. I'm very happy that you also brought in the aspect of being different in a sense of where you come from, what you experience, where you grew up, and that's very important. And I also think Luxembourg is the best example for it. Thank you very much for this.
Thank you very much. We've heard a lot of different things. The bottom line is basically that the challenges that we have right now is how do we implement more practical things into a curriculum? How do you redefine education? How do we apply it to the market reality so we can also scale these skills and make education accessible for the whole world? And this means we have a last question, basically, which is addressed to all the panelists, and I would start with Wilfried in this case. If you can answer in 1 minute, one short sentence, what do you think? As you can see, the technology has a huge impact already and will have a much bigger impact on work, on education, and on employability. How do you see us staying ahead of the curve?
First of all, thanks to research. And that's what is nurturing the education in universities. Secondly, we will always have innovations. When I was young, my professor was saying you may not use a calculator because if you use the calculator, you will not be able to calculate anymore. And today we have AI and other technologies, so we have to understand them, we have to know them, and to learn our students how to use it. But then they need to be agile because it will change a lot. And lots of them will go out of their studies today and have a job that doesn't exist today. So it's not about learning a job immediately. It's learning how to be able to evaluate in this world. And I said it already, it is also about managing innovation and lifelong learning.
Thank you. Who would like to answer the question next?
Well, let me answer the question by asking a question. Can I have everybody listen and raise your hand if you have used ChatGPT or other artificial intelligence for any work? There's the answer. The answer here is adaptive learning technologies. Did somebody not raise their hand? One person. Okay, we'll talk later. The point is, the future is here, and we have to adapt. And yes, AI is going to change our landscape. And exactly what has just been said, we need to be at the forefront of this in education. And if we're not, then this is the challenge we're going to face. That's really all I have to say about it.
Thank you, James.
I would like to take a little bit of a different look at it. I actually think, and Madame Geraldine said something interesting, I actually think that we all often make a mistake with the usage of the word technology. It's very tempting to jump at whatever is the latest. What we need to understand, for example, when you think about the influence of technology on education, education is actually, and I'm talking here about how it's delivered, not about the ability to deliver it, deliver content widely. Education is actually one of the few industries that has been very unpenetrated by technology. The way students learn, the way how actually the learning process works hasn't really evolved that much. And what I mean here is I don't consider the fact of putting a video of a real person on internet, that's a huge change in scalability of the delivery, but not necessarily in the technology of learning and of teaching. And actually, one of the things I think we can see here today as well is, I really believe it's an extremely nuanced play. So on one hand, we shouldn't forget that the role of universities depends on what level of education we're talking about. Education more and more on a bachelor level will be really about mindset, building a mindset for young people, how to even engage with the world. Master degrees are much more focused towards creating a student that is somehow also employable. But really the thing to understand is technology is not just about digital, it's also about how you do things. So for example, one of the things we strongly believe in is that entrepreneurship is really a technology of work. The way universities teach entrepreneurship as here's a box of, here's a textbook and here's what you need to know about entrepreneurship is in many ways wrong. Putting students in a situation where they need to act like entrepreneurs, otherwise their grades will simply not show up. Putting students in a situation where they can maybe be individually great, but if the group doesn't work, too bad, you failed, or you didn't do as well as you hoped. Those are some of the ways we can actually innovate in how the delivery of education works. And finally, final comment is just, sorry for the long answer, but final comment is just, at the end of the day, every technology will just make us more and more human because it will remove all the stupid, inhuman tasks. That means that a lot of dumb jobs will disappear and we will need to reinvent ourselves. And the educational sector needs to provide something that will help those people whose jobs will disappear survive for the next 70, 80 years or be active for the next 70, 80 years. Thanks.
Thank you. Please go ahead.
So I think like at every generation, technology has been adapting. It's not that our generation didn't come up, we didn't face some new technological challenges. Yes, the leap of technology in this time in AI looks like it would be higher, but education as a system has been among the slowest ones worldwide to adapt. So for many years ago, we decided that people should start getting in the university and from day one decide that they're going to end up on that job. That was the silos that in the past education system built. But we are moving in a pace where people are changing jobs every year, which is unheard of. If I go back to my parents and say, "Oh, I'm thinking of quitting my job," it'll be like, "Oh my God!" I'll be. But now it's it's a very normal thing. So I think the new generation is the current generation and the Xennials. They are very adept with this kind of environment, and I think they're already learning at much faster pace than we could ever do. I mean, our attention spans, I mean, for us is going, smaller and smaller, but it's also because the information grabbing capacity, like the soaking capacity of the Xenials is just so much higher. I still struggle with one book sometimes, and audiobooks is my way to go now. But, Xenials are like just getting so much more information. So what needs to transform, and this is what I'm talking to the class teacher of my daughter all the time, is that your role is no longer to teach. Your role now is to become a facilitator of learning, because the tools, what you have, are no longer adapt to what these kids need to learn. You just need to tell them what to learn, let them learn on their own. And just facilitate the learning, because AI is going to provide them 10 times more information that a teacher can pack inside one whole academic year within a week. So if they are passionate about something, just let them go and learn that, and then you just be a facilitator and silent observer and help them shape that learning, maybe focus more on application and building competencies rather than just learning for the sake of learning. And I think that's where the education systems will need to change. And I mean, there's a good reason. It's not something that we're going to reinvent. It's going to be a reinvention, because there's a reason why people doing physics or chemistry or mathematics, when they get the doctorate, it's a PhD. It's not physics, doctor of physics or doctor of this or that. It is a PhD for a reason. These approaches already existed. We kind of siloed them. We need to just bring them back together, and learning as a whole, teaching as a whole, the professions will change. So it's just about bringing these facilitator roles within our education systems.
Thank you. Fantastic answer.
All right, so coming back to the question, what can we do in education to stay ahead of the curve in those evolutions? And maybe a question for the audience also, what can they do? Or what can you do to stay ahead of the curve? Well, if I may give a piece of advice, maybe we should do the same. So you and us, we should do the same. And I will just reinforce some of the points that have been said. Well, I believe that's what's very important is to stay ahead of the curve, is to be curious, to be open-minded, and also to be optimist. So in a few words, to be curious, because the world is more and more complex. So the bad news is that your professors, your bosses, they do not have all the answers or even the right answers. But the good news is that a lot of talent is needed. And so as a consequence, if you are curious, you multiply the opportunities to learn and to contribute. Open-minded, it's the same, because and of course, it's based on the value of Université Libre de Bruxelles, le libre examen. Critical thinking is important, has always been, and in particular today, in the world of today. So I would advise to practice that. And to be optimist, because when you are optimist, you multiply again the opportunities for you and for the people you work with in the context of lifelong learning, as was expressed by, I think, almost everybody here. That's my 3 points at this stage.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Geraldine?
Well, time is running. I will be short, but try to be impactful. I would say, just to conclude, probably, and to respond to your questions, probably use the golden rules of communications about Simon Sinek, for those who know him. If not, I advise you to look at his TED Talks. It's about clarifying the why first, the how, and the what. What does it mean is that because we are talking about automation, artificial intelligence automation, but I think first is why are we using this? In which circumstances? What are the benefits that we expect to have that? Then the how me as a human, I'm going to use it, and how will I bring my added value as a human being with my intelligence to combine the benefits of this automation, artificial intelligence. What is my added value, and really about then the what is the best tool to use it. But I think that we forget that this technology and the digital transformation that we are living is just to make our life easier, but also to have a step further in our intelligence as a human being, I think is important.
Thank you very much for all your thoughtful answers. A big round of applause for our panelists, please.
Dear speakers, thank you very much for your inspirational words and insights. Geraldine, it would be great if you could stay with us still. Ladies and gentlemen, be an irreplaceable talent at work with Geraldine from KPMG #Team Blue.
Good. Wow. It's impressive to be on the screen like this. Thank you to my panelists. It has been a pleasure. So I've been asked to cover this very nice topic, which is become an irreplaceable creative talent at work. And normally it should work. It's always, you see, technology, but sometimes it does not. Okay. So we're going to spend probably 10 minutes. I will try to keep the timing on. So become an irreplaceable creative talent and work. And when I've been asked, and I said I was thinking about it, what are the key messages that I want to convey to you? First, let me show you my creativity touch by just replacing, and I prefer to have this sentence, is how to be a valuable creative talent at work. First, I think that we have just said we are living in a fast-paced world. Everything is going fast. Everything now is becoming urgent. You want to have an information, you take your smartphone, you Google, you have the information. It's not like me when I was at school asking my parents to go to the library to take the information through the books, because I was still in this generation. I may not look, yes, but still it was now the approach with the information is completely different. So, but people do not realize it. But when we are talking about skill set, when we are talking about competencies, it takes much more time. And then where we have a discrepancies on this. Then for the students, you may have here, and here we are in the Fintech Recruits. There are many information. You have you have chosen some studies, and then after you have to decide what kind of jobs, of career you will have. Most of you have decided about the fintech world, which is definitely something that it has a future, fintech, regtech, and so on. And then you have this, the fact to be really, to differentiate yourself. You want to make the best version of yourself. You want to be seen by your future employers by being the candidate that we should hire you. That's the same case, by the way, for the companies, and you have some over there in the other room. And by the way, KPMG is there, so we are happy to talk to you. But the companies would like also to be the top classes companies with their clients and to be profitable and to have the best talents with them. But if we look at that, where does the success come from? If we look very deeper, why there are companies who are much more successful than the others? Why some people who has the same diploma, same studies, same internships, why they are making the difference in an interview compared to the others? Well, first, I made some research, and I think that I've been discussing with also the schools and the clients and so on, and there are really the top 5 in-demand skills that will be expected to have to be for the next 10 years, so by 2025, 2030, but we have already the skill set that are really in demand in that. Besides the technical skills, definitely the digital and data literacy. We are overwhelmed about many information. We are overwhelmed with many different tools. But the idea is, how do I easily navigate with these tools, with this information, and how do I make the best of it? So you can be from a finance, you can be a lawyer, you can be different types, not in the IT world. You will have to navigate and to have this digital and data life in your job. Critical thinking. Critical thinking is probably something where I'm asking my teenagers, my 2 boys, to really saying what you found on the internet does not mean that it's true. And then it's really about, I have a lot of information. How do I make these trades, these selections, and what is my opinion about that? So really to be opinion-based, based on facts, but the facts need to be real. Because today, it's not like with the books, and even sometimes we can challenge this point of view, but today we have to make the distinctions about real facts and what are the fake news. Emotional intelligence, we just talk about automation, robots, artificial intelligence, but it's something that definitely makes the person very different and very up to speed is the emotional intelligence. Yes, emotions have their place in the workplace. So forget about 20 years ago saying your emotions need to stay at the door of the company. No, this is impossible. We are human. We have emotions. How do I deal with that? How do I manage them? How do I develop and I build my rapport with the other person that I have in front of me? It can be a colleague, it can be a third party, it can be a client. But how do I make this a rapport and how do I work better with that and with the empathy? And with the fact that now with social networks and where we are all behind our PCs, we need to invest in these relationships, in the face-to-face relationship. Creativity is really having ideas, turn it into reality. Ideas based on the situation that we do have, being think outside of the box, challenge the status quo. And then the curiosity and the continuous learning, and if you have attended the panel, it's really about that. It's to have these adaptation skills, but also this resilience to adapt to many different situations and to many aspects. The focus is today, it's about creativity, so let's go deeper on that. Steve Jobs used to say creativity is just connecting the things. But how do we do that? So there are two elements that probably I would like to focus on. There are probably more, but this is in 10 minutes I have to make a selection. First, you probably have heard about me. It's about the growth mindset. What is the growth mindset? So let's make probably 1 in 2 minutes. We are not born with a growth mindset. The growth mindset is there to be developed continuously. So everyone can have a growth mindset. We do see a difference with the fixed mindset. So the growth mindset is any failure is part of a learning journey. It's okay if you fail. And by the way, in an innovation culture, 99% of the ideas that we test and we experiment are there to be failed. What is important is to understand where does it come from? Where does it come from, the failure? And how do I improve things? And how do I test it again and again to achieve the final results? Then it's also to say the challenges are there to help me and not to see as a threat. No, I have challenges, I have a problem to solve. Let's do it and to be in this positive mindset and positive communication. I can learn to do anything I want. I'm inspired by the success of others because the learning is not only attending trainings, it's a 70, 20, and 10 approach. 10% of my development comes from the trainings. 20% from the others come from the coaching, from the mentoring, from that. And 70% comes from the experience. It means by practicing things and on the field. So then it's really learning from the others and to be helped by that. And then you do see the contrary, you can read here, it's about the fixed mindset, to stay in the comfort zone and to be afraid to be outside of the comfort zone. Then our brain is a muscle. And it's great, and you know that there are some studies and research that say that we are only using a very few capacity of our intelligence. But our brain is like a muscle that we need to train and continue develop and train of that. And the creativity, we don't have people who are born with the DNA creativity. 70% of the creativity, it's to be developed and to be learned by just putting ourselves outside of the boundaries and outside of our comfort zone. So then we need to reset our mindset. Like I said, the difference between two people, it's not the diploma, it's really about the mindset. First, the intelligence is expendable. And it's something that's great, we do see that. And the people, the successful people, really that we can see on the fields, and then you can check also what are the different leaders that are well known, is the people who have accepted and acknowledging this, and that demonstrate this curiosity and this creativity that makes them to take some mitigated risks, and because they take some risk, but then measure the risk, and then they continue to learn from that. And we can see that they can reach higher results than compared to the one who do not dare to do things. The creativity is a continual process, is a learning race, and this is something where people say, okay, I will try. I may not succeed, but I will try. Compared to the people who say, no, I'm not creative, it's not for me. So then they don't seize the opportunities to do it. And so like I said, the growth mindset can be developed. Okay. Let's imagine you have the growth mindset, so that's great. You have developed, you are fully convinced about that. But after, you need to be sure that you do have an ecosystem, that you are evolving in an ecosystem that helps you to develop this. So it's about innovation culture. What does it mean? The companies today, whatever in which sector, by the way, it can be in the tourism, it can be in finance, it can be in satellites, in many aspects, we need to be continuously agile and to adapt to change, whatever the change is, by the way. Because people's needs and expectations have changed, and by the way, we just need to look 2 years ago. The COVID and the post-pandemic, the needs of our people are changing. If I just only take the workplace, how can we imagine that Luxembourg and the other countries would have pushed this hybrid working model so quickly? So you see, we need to continuously to adapt and to be agile. We need also to ensure that the company where you will evolve are also enabling this innovation and this creativity. And so these are probably the 3 questions that I would ask if I were in your place looking for a job, is that how do my company will allow the creativity to be explored? Do they expect me to do some task from 1 to 10 and then deliver and then executing the job? Or also they will continue to develop myself and give me a certain autonomy in that? How do the companies are aware and they do allow to accept the experimentation? Meaning, okay, we do not ask automatically, you do it, and it's a 100% success. It's let's try. You have an idea? Okay. So let's discuss, let's check it. Is it meeting also our needs, our strategy, and how do we experiment that? We trust you, let's do it. It works, it's great. It does not work, let's do it differently. And how do I accept the failure? And when it's not, even if it's good, by the way, but if it's failed, what do I learn from that? How do I change it? What should I do differently? And what are the steps that I need to take to increase the chances to succeed? But after creativity, it's also stepping back. It's having the time to do it. It's allowing that our brain have this space to really think about the things and not to be overwhelmed with a high workload, because otherwise you don't have the time to explore ideas. And everyone can find this time. On my side, I'm a cross-border worker, so I have between 30-40 minutes time to do it. And so between the time that I leave my home to go to the company and vice versa, it's also my time where it's me and myself, I would say, and I really think about it, and then it's where the ideas are there. Because I don't know if you are like me, but at home, I'm always with someone, kids or husband. If I'm with my friends, it's with friends. At the companies, when I'm reaching the door, all the team and the people are jumping on you. And so I realize that I've never have some time for myself. The only time is in my car, and that's where I'm having my ideas. And then after, it's very easy for me to structure myself. When I say time to reflection, and I think you know that probably, you have seen that, it's a question of working smarter than harder. And I think that when we are digging and being really in our operations and not taking the time just to challenge what am I doing, is it correct, is it still the most efficient, then after you can come to a situation like this. So it was the fun part of that. Just to be very concrete about that, you have many ideas to boost your creativity. First, this is something that we do at KPMG, so I don't know if you have that, but that's definitely something that I would encourage, is Degreed. You don't know Degreed? It's the Netflix of the training. It's a very catalog of many trainings. It can be 10 minutes or more than hours with different thematics, with different topics. You look for it, you do it, and then you can have other levels. You can recommend the training to other people in case they have some interest. After, it's about the design thinking. Design thinking is a great methodology to boost the ideas and to collect the ideas. And then there are some 5 steps where we have to emphasize is to much more learning about my audience, who I'm talking about, what should I deliver, for who, is it students, is it clients, and so on. Then we need to define. And then to ideate, it's where do we have all the ideas. We need to a prototype, and then we test. And then after, we learn from that. And we continue to do it until we have the great thing. Other things that I would encourage you in the companies to do it's some hackathon. Hackathon where we co-create also with our clients. We ask our clients to come with a topic, with a challenge, and our people are creating some teams and they build a solution that they present in front of the clients. And so that's something also where it's important, it's business related, but people are outside of their operations and then they are co-creating the solutions with the clients. The last probably slide, I think it's the one because I know the timing is there, and we have other speakers. So the golden rules, what is really what would like that you keep in mind is that creativity is one of the 5 top demand skills that all of us we need to develop further if you want to be still in the race. It comes from many factors. Growth mindset, definitely. It's one that accelerates this creativity. We need to also to ensure that the company culture is really the foundation to influence the collective, but also our individual communication behavior. There is a big, really, if we want to have that, the company culture is important, but the people around you, your managers and your superiors, need also to allow the freedom to have that. Creativity or innovation requires time, but also requires certain vulnerability to say, okay, I was not good today, but it's okay, tomorrow I will be better, and I will try again and again. And this is the empowerment of teams, and we need to be sure that it's not only saying, okay, we are an innovative culture, but that you give time, you lighten the workload of the people, but also you have the right development opportunities for that. So then, I would say now it's your turn. So get your creativity flowing. And so what above all, have fun, because then when we are passionate and when we have fun, that's where the creativity comes. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Geraldine. That was very insightful. I'm back. People who don't know me yet, I'm Anamika, and I'm doing my master's in entrepreneurship and innovation from University of Luxembourg. And now I have the pleasure to introduce you to outstanding professionals from Do Recruitment Advisor, a renowned and award-winning recruitment boutique hailing from the heart of Luxembourg. Please join us in giving a warm round of applause to Sonia and Aiden as they share their invaluable insights and best practices on working in this beautiful country.
Great. Yes, here we are. Great, so good evening. Good afternoon. We keep it short and sweet. I know people want to get to the competition and things like that, so we don't keep you too long. We're going to talk about the best practices, so some practical tips on finding jobs in Luxembourg and how to do that. So we are coming from DO Recruitment Advisors. It's a leading recruitment agency based in Luxembourg. We recruit for the local market, so we know quite well the different industries here, but we focus mainly on the financial sector. I myself come from a background in external audit, so I started my internship here in Luxembourg, and I did 3 years in a Big Four in audit before moving into the recruitment space. So yeah, I have some, let's say, more technical background in the sphere that I am recruiting in.
Thank you, Edith. And I'm Sonia. I've been recruiting for 15 years. I started my career in France. I worked for 4 years as a legal counsel before diving into the recruitment world, where I worked ever since. And today, actually, almost to the day, marks 13 years I've been in, I moved to Luxembourg, and 10 years almost at DO.
Sorry, that was us. So why Luxembourg? You're all here, you probably know these reasons, but just to touch on them briefly, the central location that we are here in Luxembourg offers a lot of opportunities, easily reached by rail, plane, car, whatever. Also the presence of the EU institutions, so the Court of Auditors, the European Investment Bank and EIF. It's home to a lot of most of the major brands of banks, insurance companies, funds, so offer a lot of opportunities for new recruits and people looking to switch jobs.
Indeed, it's a small country, but super diverse and multinational, multicultural and diverse. Yes, the 3 main languages are French, German and Luxembourgish, but you'll hear many, many more, as there are like 170 different nationalities here. So really.
And it's good to mention the quality of life as well here. The healthcare, we have really good healthcare. Luxembourg was the first country to introduce the public transport being free for anyone who uses the service. Also big investments in infrastructure. I'm sure we've all been affected by the tram rail lines going down, but also in education, new schools opening in the city, and also like this campus out here, so offer a lot of yeah, good quality of living and standards.
And for you guys who will be tomorrow maybe looking for a job, this is basically the place to be. Salaries are good, benefits are good, very low unemployment rate, so basically the place to be if you're looking for a job. Yeah, job market opportunities. Well, Luxembourg is kind of a country with a can-do attitude, always reinventing itself, rooted originally with agriculture, then switched to mainly steel industry, and when the steel industry went down, they jumped into the finance world. So a small country, but always reinventing itself and getting today to the stage of being a huge financial hub.
Yeah, and a lot of innovative sectors as well, emerging sectors. As a recruitment agency, what we see and how we have seen it develop is a big impact on regulatory roles and regulatory compliance as the Luxembourg regulator, but also European-wide, starts to be a bit more strict. Also things like green technologies, things like ESG, so environmental social governance, digital technologies, the likes of the LHoFT, all the startups that they are helping there, and also the healthcare and life science as well is something that we see that starts to be bigger and bigger. Job search strategies. So speaking with candidates, LinkedIn is the primary source at the moment for people to find jobs. We'll go back to that later, but just to have your LinkedIn relevant, keep it current, professional photo, all the usual things. 90% of jobs in Luxembourg are found initially through service providers, so the likes of fund administration or big four firms. It's a great way to get your foot in the door. So you could look directly on potential employers' websites and see their vacancies there. Also different job portals, so you'll see them mentioned there, the likes of eFinancial Careers, a Monster. The ADEM also have a job board that is quite good. They have some good vacancies up there. And probably most interesting for new graduates is Job Teaser, because they also offer some internship opportunities. Another thing to mention is networking. Like today, it's good to get out and about. You will see again and again that Luxembourg is such a small country. You'll start to see familiar faces. As students, there are also a lot of free events that you can register to get your face out there and get meeting people.
And use us. I mean, there's like 250 recruitment agencies in Luxembourg. Don't use them all, but choose wisely 1 to 2 recruitment agency, 1 to 2 consultants you feel confident working with, and use us, work with us hand in hand. We know the market, we know our clients, we know who recruits, who doesn't, and given what you will tell us, we will see what's the best option for you. But make sure you keep track on where your CV is going. Whatever, if you apply directly or through an agency, make sure you don't send your CV two times or 3 times to the same company. That doesn't give a good impression to companies in general. So keep track and work with recruiters or directly, but know where your CV is going.
Cool. For CV tips, we won't go into too much detail. I know you have the experts at Freedy coming up afterwards, so we'll leave it to them. But from a recruitment agency perspective, what we look for is very short, concise cover sheet, detailed CV that is 1 page maximum long. Keep all your information relevant, of course, but also I personally like to have a photo on the CV. Sometimes candidates, it's very obvious to them where they worked and the location of their offices, but that's also good to mention. Don't think that something is too obvious, and include a short summary as well at the start, a little bit about you and what you are looking for.
And basically, a recruiter will spend like 10 seconds on each CV, so it will immediately see if it's a fit or not. So make sure it's unique, but it's relevant to the job description. Ideally, you'll have 1 CV per job description, and maybe I shouldn't say that, but use AI with the new kids on the block, Mr. ChatGPT. It's a tool. Don't use it only, but use it as a way to maybe start your CV or put your CV really close to the job description you want to apply for.
So your online presence, back again to LinkedIn. Have it relevant, have it current, keep all your most recent experience up to date. If you did some courses, add them. Put the fluency of the different languages that you speak on there. A professional photo also is good, and include any interests or goals that you would like to move into, so that the person reading your LinkedIn profile knows in which direction you want to go.
Yeah, and be present, connect, and respond to the messages that are being sent to you, please. Yeah, it's a great tool. I mean, you should go there, post that of influencers of companies that you want to work for. Everybody likes to like. We are all there, and yeah, be there, be connected, and be present. Okay. Tips for interviewing. Okay. Well, prepare. Yeah, please prepare for the interview. Whatever, if it's a face-to-face interview or a video interview, prepare in advance. Get ready. Know who you will be talking to. Have your app all set. Don't make sure that it's really up to date and you don't have to renew it. Have some battery on your phone. These kind of tips that you have to have in mind, get prepared. And if it's a physical interview, of course, know in advance where you're going, just to make sure that you're on time. And wear professional clothes, please. If it's a video interview, you want to keep your flip-flops on, fine. But at least from what you see on the video, it has to be professional.
Also good body language. So eye contact. I know it's harder when you are doing video conference and the like, but it's very much noticed. No. Also think before you speak. I love when I ask a question to a candidate and they take a few seconds and they formulate an answer and then they respond. It stops you rambling and not getting to the point of the question that you were asked. If you don't know the answer to a question you were asked, just say you don't know. People will be able to see that you are bluffing and that you don't know. Smile, be confident. It's a chat between a couple of people. No one is trying to catch you out at the end of the day. And it's also the opportunity for you to see if this company fits you. It's not always the interviewer who has to be seeing if you are the good fit, but also vice versa. So ask relevant questions. Like Sonia mentioned, have the information that you want to find out from the company. If you don't get that through your recruitment agency, ask directly during your interview. And smile.
Thank you.
Ta-da! Cool. Thanks. And we will also be outside for the next hour. If anyone has any questions about recruitment in Luxembourg, happy to speak with you. Good. Thanks.
All right, thank you very much. Now, it was a very great presentation. Thank you very much for that. Moving on, well, firstly, I would like to introduce myself for those who don't know me. My name is Checkman Lam. I'm currently pursuing my business studies at ISHEC Brussels Management School. Moving on to the next presentation, as was mentioned before, we have two experts from Freely who will tell us all about how you can improve your CV to land your ideal job. So welcome on the stage, Elke and Vanessa from Freely, please.
Hi everyone, welcome to our little speech. So we are indeed Elke and Vanessa, also known as the Freely Girls. Purpose today is to give you a bit of insights on how to land the job. I mean, your next dream job. I would say dream job is a bit big maybe. Yes. I think also, I don't know if the dual ladies are still here, but we are quite aligned. So it's good to see that some recruiters in Luxembourg are aligned at least. Oh. So yeah, how to write your non-rejectable CV and rock on your interview to land that job. Basically, interviewing for a job or applying for a job, you have two moments to shine. The first moment is on your CV. As they mentioned also, CV screening goes very quick. We receive 100 CVs a day, and it's really like, we have a job, we have a certain criteria the person needs to fit, and it's really like left, right, yes, no, yes, no, yes. It's very quick. So make sure that your CV pops out. So if the job vacancy, as we mentioned, if the job vacancy requires some skills, make sure that those skills pop out your CV so we immediately see them. Very easy, you just do a little bit of rework every time you apply, but it helps us really to screen your CV and make sure you get that interview and you get the moment to speak and to explain us your experience. Because you're so much more than a CV. You're so much more than a paper. There is a person behind, and that is also what we like to see. So
very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to add, because when we prepared the slide, we put employers generally spend less than 1 minute. No, let's put 3. But it's true, we spend so few seconds, and we know already if this person is good for the vacancy or not. So make sure you highlight your strengths for the job.
Okay, as we said, make sure it pops out. Every experience shows something about you. If you're more senior, of course, to make it fit on a page, you limit some information. If you're more junior, if you're just a student, it's important to put everything there that you can do. And also show the person behind the CV. Even if a student job you did is not relevant for the job you apply for, put it on there, because it can show this person was working during weekends while studying. It shows something about the person. It shows something about the attitude. If you're a book nerd, put your favorite book. It's an icebreaker in the conversation. It helps us recruiters connect with you. I always interview Harry Potter fans. So it's just like, it's like, you're the Harry Potter fan. It makes us also connect to the person. So that put something unique on your CV so you pop out and we want to meet with you.
Basically, it's just a conversation. You need to connect with, you need to connect somehow. We had an interview recently when the candidate was super nervous. Oh my God, will I perform? Let's make it a conversation. Do you have any questions? So just make it be fun, basically. So a well-structured CV, as you mentioned, picture. We are not a big fan, but it's up to you. Clean and aligned format. Double check typos because we have some customers that basically, if they see a typo, they don't move forward with the application. So it's something that may be important for some companies. And we always suggest that you put your experience in a chronological order because it's more clear to see what you did most recently or what you're currently doing. And it's what is relevant on your experiences.
Yes, review. Can you go to the brief?
Yes.
So review, review. How many CVs we receive that there is a typo in the first sentence? It's very sad because you can have a very good CV, but just there you ruin that first impression. So give it to someone else, ask them to review for typos because you have seen the document so many times, you don't see it anymore. So make sure you don't get rejected for a typo because then some people don't even look at your experience anymore. So that is very important, and also really show who you are. The picture, indeed, I'm not a big fan, but for some customers, it helps to put an idea, if they look back at the CV, to see the person behind. So that can indeed be a good idea. So the questions we try to reply by CV is really, for which tasks are you plug and play? Because we get a job briefing, where we got a job briefing to say, this is what the person will need to do. We look, how fast can you be performing on that? That is the questions we try to. You pop them out by putting them bold, by job titles that are similar, highlighting the skills that they require. You make our job very easy, and also the hiring manager will look at it and say, yes, this person can do the job, and that's the question we try to reply by CVs. And also, who is the person behind the CV? Is really, it's a small sentence, but just add something that is unique about you that helps the conversation. For instance, as I mentioned, Harry Potter, if you do like crazy travel or you have some hobby like skydiving or whatever, something that is unique about you, put it on there and it makes you pop out because we receive.
True, I align with that. And also, the many skills you have, you also should include on your CV. We just saw a very nice candidate, was on his CV, his mother tongue and English intermediate when he was actually fluent. So no, put it fluent because you know actually how to speak English. It may be a showstopper for some companies, so highlight your strengths.
Okay, so with a CV, what you show to your future employer maybe is the quality of the work that you deliver. If you show a clean CV, you show this is the quality that I will deliver if I work for you. In an interview, you can show, you have a moment to show also how you will work. So how can you do that is, yes, first of all, the basics. Be on time, whether it's online or in real life, be on time. Anticipate traffic, don't arrive all sweaty and say, whoops, I was stuck in traffic. Just anticipate a margin. So good internet connection, don't go in a coffee shop. It's very annoying to hear the cling, cling, cling all the time of coffee cups being washed, etc.
I do agree.
Dress professional. As also, that is very similar as what our colleague said of door recruitment. The background is important. If you are in your room, tidy up. It's not really nice to see a bed in the background. Make sure it's a silent environment. Cats sometimes pop in. As I have 2 cats, I don't mind too much. I know my cats also, but try to keep them out of the room. and be in the moment. Nothing is more annoying than somebody who's walking during an interview, is just in a busy street. It shows us that we were not important enough to have a silent room. So it's not very respectful. So try to be in the moment, try to show also to the recruiter, to your counterparty, basically, I booked some time for you. I think this is important because the interview is really your moment to show how you will work, how dedicated you are for this job.
Very good. I would like to add some points on that because although this is the basic tips, sometimes we are so nervous to perform our interviews. We want to highlight our strengths. We want to sell ourselves that basically we, oh my God, I don't have a background. Oh my God. And then you realize that were some missing points there. And also, which she just said, I had an HR screening recently. It's just a 30 minutes conversation when I know the candidate to present to the hiring manager, and there was someone sneezing in the background. The lady was explaining about her previous experiences, and there was someone sneezing so loud that it was impossible to hear, to really grasp her knowledge and her strengths. So it happens, and it's very, it can be very complicated to present to the hiring manager afterwards.
So yeah, prepare before you go in an interview. So know your CV. Cannot imagine how many people don't know their own story and tell something different than what we see on paper, sometimes very surprising. Prepare what is in the job, what does the company do. I mean, 5 out of 10 interviews, so we also recruit in-house. The candidate says, when we say, what do you know about our customer? They say, not a lot, actually. Stop. So there, it's out. We cannot proceed with a candidate who hasn't done the research about the company, who cannot, I mean, it's an airline. There are not many in Luxembourg. So you can at least say it's an airline and you fly products. So know the job and the company. Prepare your question. Take a little notebook. Write smart questions up front. It shows, again, how you will work. It shows you will come in prepared. You prepared some questions. And not only what are the next steps, how many holidays do I have, how many times can I work remote, can I work remote from another country? That is all very interesting to know, but also raise questions like, what will the challenges be that the person will face when doing the job? Show that you're interested in the job, in the company. Come with smart questions. Then also be yourself. That is also something I highly recommend. Don't present a fake version of you. It's like a first date. If you present a fake version of you and the other person buys in on that fake version, the whole connection is fake and it will not. Present who you are. If then they choose to work with you, at least they choose you. And then you're sure that the connection is real. If you're a book nerd and you talk about books very passionately, don't be afraid to express. So just be yourself, and then if they choose you, at least the connection is real. Take notes. If you raise a question, what are the challenges that the person in the job will face? And the person replies to you, take some notes. It shows again how you will work. It shows I am so dedicated that I want to remember what you tell me in the interview so I can reproduce this if I have the job. It shows I am dedicated enough to even throw my notes away if I don't have it. And then, so follow-up messages. If they promise you an answer in 3 weeks, don't be afraid to send that email. Like, oh, we agreed that you would give me an answer by this time. Can I have an update on my application? Don't be afraid to do that. It shows again how you will work. If my customers don't reply and I hire somebody to follow up on my customer, it shows already, okay, this person will follow up as they already do it in the app. Don't go stalking. That is negatively. So, but general follow-up, like regular follow-up, is something we perceive positive. Not through 10 channels, not 10 times a day, but every week a little email to see how is this going is not considered.
Because even though you did a very great interview and so on, if you start stalking the recruiters, it can be a negative point and it can change all the recruitment process.
Okay. So then, how can you know who is in front of you? First of all, you look at their LinkedIn. You investigate, you always receive the names of the person who is interviewing you. You look at their LinkedIn. Check. Maybe you have a university in common, maybe you have a connection in common that you can use as an icebreaker. But we all know everybody has different personality types, and to different personality types comes a different communication. So you can also adapt a bit to the person in front of you. So we use a tool, Crystal Knows. It's a plugin on Google Chrome. I wanted to do a demo, but we cannot log in here. So you go to the LinkedIn profile of the person, you use the plugin, and it will give you the disc profile of the person you meet. It's a suggestion based on the writing style of the person, based on, for instance, CEOs most of the time have the D, the leader aspect, the red personality. So they analyze the data on the LinkedIn of the person, and they will give you a suggestion. For instance, we did a test with Nasir of LHoFT. So we asked him to complete the personality test, and then we checked if Crystal Knows is accurate, actually. And it also, you can give situations. So for instance, for Nasir, he did the test, and he came out of a strong D, a captain, which is normal in his role, and also if you have talked to Nasir, you kind of observe it quite easily. And then we went on Crystal Knows, where he comes out as a DI, being a leader, but also with influential skills, liking ideas. And then in the plugin, you can say, I have a meeting with Nasir, and I need to convince him to hire me. And then I will read the sentences afterwards. You can come to our booth if you want to see it. I can show you the demo afterwards. But it's like, how to convince Nasir to hire me is like share a new idea, focus on your ability to work quickly, and then project boldness and self-confidence. What he doesn't like is too many details, go in the nitty-gritty and see problems. He doesn't like when you see problems in the community. So that is a tool I have used already a lot for meetings with prospects, for instance, but also in interviews, because still remain yourself. The message that you give is consistent, but you can adapt your communication style to the person in front of you. In the sense, if I have an interview with a CFO, they are most of the time more of a C. If we look at the disc profile, then you can go very much into the details, you take notes, you show you're prepared, etc. So you can adapt a bit to sell yourself more aligned with the person.
So and hopefully you get the job after all those tips and tricks.
Yes, so 2 moments to shine, and then you will get the job in the end. So we're here now. We're always at the other side where we raise the questions, but we are truly delighted to hear your questions that you have maybe now. Are there any questions?
We prepared some time to maybe to reply your questions regarding the recruitment process, but anything that you like to know from us, from our perspective at least. No questions?
So we were clear then. Well, thanks a lot for your attention. Don't hesitate to reach out. We are social media, we are everywhere. We still have our booth there if you want to see the demo of Crystal Knows. We're truly happy to show it to you.
Thank you very much for this opportunity, and have a nice day.
Bye.
Okay, guys, this is the last one, so get your energies on. The next guests on stage are both experienced recruiters with a passion for helping companies find the right talent and helping candidates find the right job. Today, Manuel and Valentina will be talking to us about digital strategies for an unshakable LinkedIn profile. They will share tips on how to create a profile that stands out from the crowd, attract attention of the recruiters, and help you land your dream job. Please join me in welcoming Manuel and Valentina from Digital People to the stage.
Tu le veux? Yeah, that's
works.
us.
Okay. So digital strategies. So why we are here? Why are we here?
So let me introduce you firstly, quickly, Valentina. So she is international known IT tech recruiter. Basically, originally from Ukraine. The good little story is that a Luxembourgish company headhunted her from Ukraine, East Ukraine, in 2016, 17?
Yeah, 16.
Okay. A background, for example, why they hire her is because from a previous company, she raised alone a tech company from 20 developers to 160 in less than 1 year, recruiting all of them. So that's her. That's the specialist of recruitment.
This is Manuel. He is the expert in communication. Well, you will see on the stage today. So expert there. And on digital communication. And not only, but especially on LinkedIn. So,
before we start, raise your hand. Who is in the recruitment? Who is a recruiter? Raise your hand. Recruiter. Cool. Who is on the side of the company? Who is the CEO, hiring manager, recruitment CEO, decision maker? Anybody? No? Oh, someone over there. Okay. Only one. We can go for it. Who's more looking for a job?
Candidates? Yeah.
Like this, we adapt our speech. Okay. So many candidates. Raise your hand again. Cool. Good. It's cool, but at one moment, it's not super cool to see so many people looking for a job. We will be great to have less people looking for a job.
That's why we're here.
Why we are talking about LinkedIn?
So why we're talking about LinkedIn? So I've got some news, guys, for you. That's it. No coming back. We're in tech environment, and tech means digital. You probably know Facebook and Instagram, but LinkedIn is the must place to be. We were talking to some of you today in the room. I'm happy to talk more. We'll also have some tricks and extensions and tools to show you, but it's the must to have, LinkedIn, okay? Some of the recruiters and the companies we personally work with, after seeing a CV, like after a minute, they go to your LinkedIn profile. They check your LinkedIn profile. Are you there? Do you have it updated? What do you do? How many years you've stayed there? If the CV doesn't match with LinkedIn, if it matches, that's already a good point. If it doesn't, there are already questions. What do you do? What do you interact? And we'll talk about it now.
So changing the game. I don't know. We are in 2023. I started my career really long ago. I started my career without computer, without email, without phone, mobile phone, without networking, without anything. It was back in 1994. I'm old, 51, if you want to know. So at that moment, we had to use the techniques. I come from a sales environment. Sales training, sales environment, building your brand, making the people understand you, negotiate with people, making people generally likable. You need to be likable. The only way to be likable for the moment, it's not on a CV. I'm sorry, I contradict a little bit, because someone might look at your CV 3 minutes. I can decide to talk to you in 7 seconds just by watching your profile on LinkedIn. So why are we are changing the game? You want to copy everything? Perfect. That's not what works right now. You want to be a front of everybody. Use the tools that are in front of everybody. That means that LinkedIn means all the other social media. Who's using Threads for the moment? Nobody. Don't be mad. It's not available in Luxembourg for the moment. Yeah, but I invite you. Any social media coming, use it to find a job, to recruit people, to enter the mind of someone. This is the most important. Now, today they only left us 20 minutes. So we're going to try to give you really practical. But if you want to see some demo, some profile, or you want just a little touch or a little advice on your profile, come see on the booth. Happy to do that with you.
Your personal brand is your everything. So you can come to the company with your CV and send your CV, but your LinkedIn and other social media are there. If there's no LinkedIn profile, you do not exist. You send one CV, that's it. The company might not take a good moment, good attention to you, but if you're on LinkedIn, yeah, you're always there, right? Branding is everything as well. So on your LinkedIn profile, you have your content, but you also show it's not only what is on your LinkedIn, it's also what you do with it, right? So if you get in touch with recruiters, with the companies, if you reply quickly, if you're so passionate about what you do, talk about it, right? If you're in data, we saw so many of you talented data, machine learning experts, you do something else, talk about it on your content. And then if a company comes to your profile, they don't need to ask you. They will come to discuss already on something you've talked about on your LinkedIn. So that's your branding. You're in control and you build it.
Without saying that, it's always better to have people coming to ask you if you are interested by a job that you constantly apply. There is only one way now, and it's, thanks God, with social media, we have the possibility to build an image, even if it's a little bit wrong, even if it's a little bit fake, to build an image, to reverse the engineering, to have the people coming to you, asking, hey, I saw you on social media, I saw you on LinkedIn, your profile looks good, your content looks good, you seem the right person, I need someone like this. It might sound really strange for candidates, but this is what happened every single day with me and Valentina. Even if our profile is clearly identified that we own company, we still have every day people asking us if we would like to work for them. Now, everything starts with your photo on LinkedIn profile. It's not a science, it's a brain effect. Everybody understand what is the brain effect? I mean, in sales we teach, you don't speak to a person. They teach us this. You don't speak to a person, you try to speak to the brain. They are two different people. Looks strange. They're two different people. If you succeed by using some word, if you succeed to enter the brain, you win. If you stuck selling something or teaching something or trying to sell yourself to the person, it won't work. Now, the photo on LinkedIn profile, it's 7 seconds. It's scientific. Someone arriving to your profile, he will look at first the visual, your photo. And he will take his brain 7 seconds to decide, I want to continue. Oh, this guy, I don't like. Whatever good, however the good is your profile behind your photo, he won't even look at it, just for the photo. So people are asking me, but Manuel, I like to be myself. Fine. The best example is you want to be on a Hawaiian shirt on your photo on LinkedIn. That's fine. It's perfect. But you better be an owner of a surf shop in Hawaii. Okay? If you're a salesperson, imagine the impact. 7 seconds, you see you're looking for a salesperson. You might be the best salesperson in the world. Best. But you appear with a wrong photo on your LinkedIn profile, even if your CV looks good, he will not talk to you. Your CV will go away. Not 3 minutes for reading your CV. 7 seconds with your photo on LinkedIn. And then after. Your goal on LinkedIn is to give this 7-second impression for them to read the rest. And then make the comparison with your CV.
Yeah, and just something very practical. If you're a candidate, you have a blurry photo, no matter how great your experience is on LinkedIn, the impression is made, like right there. Or you choose you're smiling, or it's cold, somewhere far, not seeing much the face on the photo. You're in control again.
Another little trick on your photo, it's proved scientifically. People who smile, and we can see the teeth on the photo. Don't go look at my profile. I'm not smiling, but people who smile and we can see the teeth scientifically brings the brain of someone like this person. Automatically, if you smile, people can see your smile and your teeth on the photo, you will be likable. Automatically, it's just the brain. It's just the brain who decide.
Yeah, and then invest in discovering what the audience who come on your LinkedIn are looking for, what they need. So it's very good to put on your LinkedIn profile how amazing, how great experiences, what you've been doing, or maybe a director or a leader, and so on. But don't forget that, again, everybody's busy. They're analyzing your profile quite quickly. There is a summary there, there is bio, summary, title. Why don't you put a message for recruiters, for companies who look for what are you great and what you can bring? So focus on who you're attracting to your LinkedIn profile. Yeah. There are some of you who come to us and say, look, I'm trying to get to them, but they really don't have time, and so on. I am, but I said, okay, do they have a position? I don't know. Did you look if they have a position? So it's invest in which companies you want to work with, if they are looking, if they need an expert like you, and the ones who need, put it in a easy way for them to understand, quickly interact again. LinkedIn is not just a CV; it's also the social network. It has a feed. You can put your content in it. You can express in many ways your personality and why you're great. By the way, on CV, on LinkedIn, you can also put achievements. What are the achievements? This is something recruiters and companies love because they want to know what kind of achievement, what kind of success story you can bring to them. They don't want to guess. They want you to tell them.
When Valentina said they want you to tell them, just realize that 71%, it's the same as a salesperson. 71%, they're going to buy you, the personality you are, the person you show up. They're going to like you. They're not going to be like, they're not going to refer on the CV. Maybe they didn't see the CV yet. They're going to be impressed by your personality. They're going to be like, if you're likable, they're going to trust you. Building a trust, even if it's online, it's one of the most important right now. I mean, you all spend time watching YouTube, communicating with your friend, with Twitter, Instagram. I don't even follow. By the way, for recruiter or for candidate, it's always nice to appear on Instagram also. This is really important. Just like realize that 71%, they don't buy your skills. They don't buy what you have done before. They buy you when you present yourself. Now, let me do a little test here. I would like you to do something, because all what we say, it's really, it can be important or not important depending on the mindset you have. So I would like you to raise your hand. Just don't be scared. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Yes, yes, yes. Cool, cool, cool. So most of you are raising your hands like this. Yeah, there. So now raise your hand higher. Go higher and higher and higher. And I'm going to tell you the difference. Our brain, again, you know, the one who decides our life, is going to tell you, be lazy. For everything, it's going to tell you, be lazy. So when someone asks you, raise your hand, your brain says, raise your hand. And that's your average. Someone who's on the top, who have a mindset of being excellent in everything is done, automatically his brain is going to make like this. Raise your hand. That's your brain speaking. So, I'm sorry, most of you will need to change a little bit the mindset and look for excellence. Looking for being in a mindset of being excellent, not average.
So, differentiate when reaching out. Being within recruitment and in any company, I think most of you, even being a candidate, seen one day a pitch, we got pitches, just a pitch, we can do that, we can do that, we can do that. Buy our services, I do that, make a difference. It's a communication. So LinkedIn was first built as for CVs, and then they wanted to say, look, we are also social media. This is why they have chat. This is why, by the way, for the extensions and tools, automatic tools, you can use them, but wisely, because LinkedIn wants this to be authentic. So be authentic and talk to the person. This is actually the real message. I was using it and got 85% of the connection. Yeah.
88, actually, to be very precise. And it was sent to candidate for a customer. 88% open rate. Connection, accept. With a simple message like this. Actually, this message, you can change it for everything. You are looking for a job, you change 2 words, and it works for the job. Okay? Now, we are all human, I say. Our brain is lazy. We don't want to do the work. We don't want to spend 5 hours a day on LinkedIn. We don't want to spend 8 hours a day. I do, but I don't ask anybody to do it. We don't want this. And we are naturally lazy because all our evolution have been like this. Lucky we have some tools. Again, like Valentina said, the tools are not there to replace you, and this is a misconception that most of us is doing when using the tools. They think that it's going to replace us. It's not the replacement. Those tools are going to help you to save time, and you still need to direct the tool to be the master of the tools. If you let the tool doing it, it's going to do anything. Believe me, if you put shit in a tool, it will come out with shit. So it's better to masterize those tools. So we put there is tons. We can go further with tools. So resume word. You're not sure about your LinkedIn profile. If it's good, not good, put resume word. He's going to make a small audit. In 5 minutes, you will have an audit of your LinkedIn profile, even with recommendation of what to change, what not to change, your quota, which is good, which is not. ChatGPT, we all know ChatGPT, it's our big friend, but ChatGPT is nice, but believe me, there is tons of variation. One of the best I've seen for the moment is that ChatGPT is writing a text that you ask, and then you go to humanize it, and this AI make this text look like a human. So it's not only ChatGPT, there is tons of tools. Expandy, if you have to reach at scale, I'm speaking for people looking for sales job or whatever. If you want to reach at scale, Expand these automation tools on LinkedIn. It's totally safe. It's cloud-based. I know there is a lot of restriction. The restriction comes on LinkedIn or banning and stuff like that because you go over the limit. It's not because you use automation tools that you have to go over the limit of LinkedIn. You can still do a good job by respecting the limit of LinkedIn. Sally AI. Previously, they were speaking about Crystal. No, Sally AI, it's a little bit the same functionality, but on a sales point of view. So it will create icebreaker, it will analyze, it will tell you if this guy, for example, is a good fit for you as a customer, as a candidate, or as a personality to reach out. And there is tons. If you want, come to our booth, I will give you all of them. We can even make some presentations, some things you will see. It's bluffing if you use it correctly. Most of the people don't use it correctly, and then they say it doesn't work, of course.
Yeah, so automation tools can do miracle. They can save you so much time and do your work as if it was an army doing, right? But remember that automation, it's not only a miracle that helps you, it also exposes you, exposes your personality. That's the personal brand as well that is there behind the automation tools that will deliver all those messages and the impression that those messages will create. The messages, their automation on messages, on feed, on posts, on anything you like. And ChatGPT and AI and NLP, which is coming, it's all coming. And it's also better to know how they work before, we don't want to think of the time they replace or anything. We better take control now. So consistency is the secret. That's actually the personal brand. So it's a good image. It's just like a photo. So LinkedIn, reading your LinkedIn profile, experienced recruiter doesn't take much time. It's like several seconds. Scientists, not science, practically, I can tell you that's the case. So consistency within your work experience. So if you change from, I don't know, from a designer to a cook, and then you can, of course you can, but there should be some consistency. You create the trust, the first trust. If the trust is not there, then you have to re-win it. Why do you need it? You first, think about how recruiters see you already on the social media. And yes, by the way, recruiters go to Instagram, to Facebook. Don't forget it's public. And we have GDPR, but that's about personal data, which is public, right? And that everything is taken into the consideration. Posts. So I wish you all candidates who are here to be the candidates who would put in their title, recruiters, do not contact me, I have too many job offers. They're actually, candidates like that. So how they become those candidates? Well, they gain the seniority, they gain the experience, but they also gain their reputation on, if it's, there's Kaggle for data, there is GitHub for coders, right? Hiring managers can directly see the code on GitHub and already take a good decision. Maybe they're already interested. You've got some buy-in. And the way you reply, that's also something we put. The recruiters, they share with hiring managers their feedback, right? So they share about the feedback, which is more or less mathematical. Like, skills are there. This is what you're looking for. How about the personality? That's what the hiring managers really want to know. It's about the personality. If you are consistent, if you're professional, if you're punctual, in all the ways professional with the recruiter, that's already a buy-in. This is your personal brand. How do you show that? Through social media. You are replying, you are quick, you are respectful, you show the motivation. Nothing turns away a company than lack of motivation. You can be great, but with lack of motivation, they won't go further. You won't even know why. So don't forget, it's not bad to show that you're there, you're ready, you will perform, you'll learn your way. So this is the mindset.
No, yeah. But Valentina, I mean, all this is good, but you know, it's difficult. It is difficult. Yeah. It is really difficult. But are your goals, whether you're looking for a job or a sales or whatever, difficult? Yes, they are. Investing in your professional ID 2.0, it's priceless in our time. Really, priceless. Everybody is going to look at it. I don't look at CV. I look at the name. I try to find him on LinkedIn. Give me a better impression than the CV. Being visible and attractive will bring you closer to your goals. Believe me, whatever you want, it's mathematic. It's the brain who decides. Now, I understand. It's difficult. People are not content creator. I mean, who create content on LinkedIn? Kind of 2 times a week? Who? The minority. The minority. Congratulations. Yeah. I mean, some people create every day, sometimes 2 days, 2, 3 days, 2 per day. I don't go to the limit. No, I'm going to deliver a little secret. You know the content creator? Raise your hand who's not putting content. Raise your hand. The majority. Good. I have a good news for you. You don't need to put content on LinkedIn. Forget it. You need to spend 30 minutes, 40 minutes every day and use the commenting strategy. LinkedIn, it's built to create this visibility. If you put the content, it's going to act like this. The algorithm is going to act like this. First hours is going to show to your first network. If you don't have a huge first network, it's already fucked up. Don't do content. If the network doesn't react, it doesn't push it to the second network. If they react, if some people react, it's going to start to show this content to the second network. If these people are reacting, again, if you don't have a lot of network, there is not a lot of second network. If those people are reacting, and that's where the post goes viral, and that's where you get the maximum visibility, because LinkedIn is going to start to show it to the third network. And that's the game, arriving at touching with your visibility the third network. That's the entire game. Very few people arrive. And if you arrive already to touch your first network, it's already good. This if you put content. If you don't put content because we are lazy, we don't have time, we work, we need to find a job, all those excuses are good. Start commenting. And don't commenting like, hey, nice post. You know, doesn't worth it. Comment something genuinely, something will show your personality. You don't agree with the person? Fine, just tell him, I don't agree. You're going to see an amazing effect because everybody is going to look your comment on a precise post. And usually you're going to comment on topics that you like, topics that you want to find a job in the industry. And who's commenting usually on posts on LinkedIn? CEO, CTO, hiring manager, thought leader. All those people are commenting. Now, open LinkedIn and go to any post. The first thing on a post that you like, you're going to say, what are the comments? You're never going to push who likes. So forget the likes. Just comment. You want to find a job? Comment on 30 recruiter. Select 30 recruiting, click the push follow, click the little bell. You will have a notification every single time they put a post. So you don't have to worry to scroll down to the post. LinkedIn is going to tell this person, make a post. Cool, click on it, arrive there. Make a thoughtful comment, not like, nice post, doesn't work. Say, hey, I really appreciate what you say there, and it will be super interesting to hear more. Is there any tutorial, any video on YouTube that you can recommend it? I guarantee you make this comment. Other people who post, they will send you a video. And that's not the finish. After that, when someone starts to interact it, take a photo, because after that I delete it. After that, when someone interact, like your comment, reply to your comment, come visit your profile, that's the moment you engage with them. You have the best excuse to engage with them. Or connection rate, following this, it's around 100%, 95%. Because if someone come to your profile after liking your post or liking your comment, and you just say, hey, I saw that you like my comment, you're probably someone known, someone well aware of this topic. That would be great to connect with you. Do you think he's not going to connect? 100% is connecting with you. And you have a good catch to start a conversation. And that can be a recruiter. And you don't need to send the CV. Because in your conversation, you will say, hey, by the way, I'm looking for a job. You're the recruiter at that company. Can I send you my CV? What do you think he's going to say? They say, this guy is commenting on LinkedIn. He's got a nice profile. He's got a nice communication. And I can see on LinkedIn that he might be fit for one other job. He's going to say, yeah, send me directly your CV. Done. You don't need to create content. Use this.
Back to the hand question, about the mindset. If you go full in, sometimes we talk and then the audience says, yes, this is great, I'm going to do it. But tomorrow you will forget and you will do the same. Well, remember that. It's very good for those who do it. So difficult? Yes. Takes time? Yes. It's easier to say, look, this is great, this is attractive, what you say, but I will do my way. I will send the CV again and so on. Remember that it's very, for business owners, for candidates, this is very good strategy if you don't do it, because like that, the others who do will stand out.
Remember,
so don't.
Yeah, sorry. Remember, average, excellent.
And yeah, personal brand is the reputation today. So reputation is good for locally one city or one community or a company, but the personal brand is international. It's the scale. You want to go for success, that's the personal brand. In anyhow, you want it or you don't want it. We all want it. Maybe I don't want it neither. But technology exposes us to the very scale. So, yeah, what is on social media about us? This is what we are in the end of the day.
I think we don't have the time for questions, but if you would like to ask questions, we are available over there with pleasure.
Thank you so much.
By the way, Anthony, 2 seconds. We make a little competition, okay? Scan this QR code or don't scan. Find us on LinkedIn. The 3 first on each profile, we're generous today. The 3 first who go and send a connection request with a little note, including an original note, included audit in the way you reach out, those 3 first one, each profile, we will do an audit of your LinkedIn for free. Huh? Yes. Send me a message.
Find your personal way.
Find your personal way. Thank you.
How are you guys going? All is good? Have you enjoyed the day? So I'm going to do it. I know they tell me that I have to do it with the mic. So I want to thank you, all of you, that have arrived, that came to the event today. I think it's been a very busy day for all of us. So for certain, it has been more busy than others. We've also, and I bring these gentlemen on stage with me because we've promised that we wanted to give away some training and other prizes, other perks to the ones that will be the busiest of all. And I have a list of people that I've interacted with the most with all of our recruiters that got the highest score. And there is an announcement that I would like to make. But prior to that, I call Nyamke on stage. So you did a quiz this morning, 10 questions based on blockchain and DeFi and cryptocurrencies. And I have 3 winners that I would like to announce. So those winners are, I don't know whether they are still here, but it's Sergio Maestri. Are you there with us? I think he had to go back to work. Aurélie Pranzo, are you there? Yes, please do come on stage. So she was top 3 among 200 participants in the morning quizzes. And then I have Floris Stevens. Are you still with us? Oh, that's you? Oh, come on down. Tell me a little bit. So, Aurélie, who are you and what do you do?
I am Aurélie Poinceau. I'm coming from Luxembourg, going to school in Luxembourg School of Business, and I'm doing actually my master in management.
Lovely. What about you?
So my name is Floris Stevens. I'm a student in the Solvay Brussels Schools of Economics.
So we are going to. So what are we going to do? So I think you have 3 prizes to announce, right? So we have first prize goes to Sergio, and then the other 2, I'll let you.
Yes, thank you very much, Anthony, and congratulations to you. As I said before, education is very important, and between the prize that we're giving today, we have the first pool prize, which is a RTL prize, in which we're going to discuss with the winner about the relationship between money and blockchain, how people use DeFi to improve their lives. We go even further. We go how we can create DeFi projects, how we can easily create smart contracts, apply the blockchain technology to your own life or your own business. And to finish, we can even have like a consulting session at the end with some professional of the sector to help the winner to build something or even apply what he would like in his normal life. This is the first part. The second and the yes, exactly. The first prize is a worth of 3,000 euros. That's provided by ServiceChain. And the second prize, I hope you will love it. We don't go until the applications, but we discuss with you about the discovery of DeFi protocols, how people use it. We connect you to a wide network, and we discuss about the relationship also between money and blockchain. And this is the basic stuff from where we go. And we would like you to skyrocket on this market by waiting the next bull run. Thank you.
And now I would like to give the microphone to Mr. Hovert Sultan, who's the head of Academy of HEC Liège, Luxembourg, that we are supporting on having developed a Fintech certificate, and is going to tell you more about it.
Hello, and he stole my thunder. That's okay. I was going to say there are 2 good newses and some goodies I would like to announce. Good news number 1, HEC is in Luxembourg. We arrived. We were waiting long for it, but now we are here, and we're giving some, we're entering into a new collaboration, and that's good news number 2, with the LHoFT. And the 2 of us cooked up a program which is actually quite interesting and very relevant for today. And the prices that I'm going to announce are actually full scholarships into this program. Should we say the names first, or should I describe the program first?
The number as the I have 6 names that would like to call on board who are going to benefit from a full scholar. Those were the busiest people of the day. They came in at 9, and some of them are already still here interacting with everyone. I would call on stage number 1, René Douani. Yes, that's you. Congratulations. Do come on stage. Second, Srinivasa Rao Palat. Are you there with us? Oh, there you are. Come on stage. Samantha Gombald. Are you there? Oh, there you go. We have Carlos Eduardo Vieira de Oliveira. There you are. Vipin Kumar Ramakrishnan. Where are you? He's already left. Grishma Johnson. Also, so we're going to follow up with these two others. A big round of applause for our winners of the day.
So to repeat, what you have won is a full scholarship to our FinTech certificate, which we're offering together in collaboration with the LHoFT. As with all our programs, these are all AACSB and EQUIS internationally accredited. So they are very highly regarded internationally outside Luxembourg as well as in Luxembourg. The program itself, do we have a slide or should I just talk about it? I'm just talking about it. It's the following. It starts by you choosing to take either a course with us on artificial intelligence, and that's taught by none other than one of the person who spoke today here during the conference is the head of innovation at Deloitte and a specialist in AI, Fateh. Or you decide to take another class which is on blockchain and big data. And that class is specifically brought to us by the LHoFT, by 4 faculty members. One, Niamke went somewhere, but one is actually Niamke, who's an entrepreneur, of course. Another one is Pascal, who's a venture capitalist. Another one is Eric, who's a data scientist. And Petra, I shouldn't say that, but she's a techie. She knows all about the tech. So what you have is 4 people, an investor, an entrepreneur, a techie, and a data guy teaching you about blockchain and big data in FinTech. In both courses, as all of our courses, I should say, these are outside work hours, so they won't conflict with your work life. And all of it can be taken either face-to-face, in person, in our courses, classrooms, which are in the Chamber of Commerce in Kirchberg, or online, your choice. Both of these classes have 12 sessions and they run approximately 8 weeks. The project you would have to do is pick a problem in finance and apply the technology, finding a use case that solves that problem. And that's where it stops. And then it becomes even more interesting. Because after you've done it, either in AI or blockchain, we will bring you into the LHoFT. You will enter the incubator and spend 3 months working for a startup already in the LHoFT, living their everyday life, again, outside work hours, so it doesn't conflict with your work commitments. And you see the everyday FinTech problems and successes and work they do here in Luxembourg. During that 3 months, the LHoFT and us will do everything to make sure that you meet everybody. Everybody who's anybody in FinTech in Luxembourg. We'll make you meet all the other startups, all the other startups. We'll make sure that you meet big banks, big funds. They can be your clients in FinTech. We'll make sure you meet investors. We'll make sure you meet the House of Entrepreneurship. We'll make sure you meet the House of Startups and the other elements of the ecosystems surrounding FinTech in Luxembourg. Which means, while you go through this, you will be really at the heart of the FinTech ecosystem in Luxembourg. You'll know all the players, the potential clients, the potential investors. And if you want to get involved in that ecosystem, you'll have all the support from us for you to do so. If you want a job out of it, you'll get a job out of it. If you want to start your own project, start your own project. And coming back to this second point, when I said that you then join the LHoFT, right? Joining a startup. You may choose not to do that. There's an even cooler option. You may choose not to join a startup in a LHoFT, but instead bring your own idea into the incubator, receive the full support of the incubator during 3 months, and work on your own project in a go-to-market strategy. And again, after 3 months is over, you have met everybody. You met your potential investors, you met your potential clients, you met your potential other startups who you can learn from, and then you can make a decision whether it's a startup you're really gonna launch, or you just decide to join another startup in the ecosystem. As a final word, this is your bridge into fintech in Luxembourg. Online, in person, outside work hours. Let me give you the certificates or the letters of admission.
Got you all